And welcome back. Children's book author Jill is joining us now alongside her husband, Phil. Guys, thank you so much for being here. So here's the deal. You just came out with a brand new children's book called Sometimes Grandma Calls Me Jean.
We have it right here.
Yes, right here on display.
The artwork
so
is amazing.
Tell us a little bit about you being an author. How long have you been an author? What was making this book like as well?
So September 6th was my launch date, and it was actually a really fun day because I had it at my mom's care home. And so we read the book to everyone, and we had live music, and just it was so exciting.
And that was important because this is based on your mom, correct?
Yes.
Tell us just a little bit about what it's about.
So the book is to honor my mom and all those who are walking this journey of dementia. And so that's really what it's about. But also the other part of it is the whole back of the book. There's pages to help parents support their children on the same journey and to help parents know what are things we can do to help our kids.
Because us as adults, I mean, it's hard enough for us, but we can't think the same way that our children are, and to let them see it through a lens, like how do they process that? Give me an example of maybe a tip for your children.
So there's lots of ideas. I think one of the biggest things I think about is preparing your child. So, you know, sometimes that loved one might be living in your home, but if you're going to visit and you're wanting that interaction to be a positive experience, like making sure you're preparing for that, not just expecting, you know, something positive to happen, but maybe pre-planning an activity that might be appropriate for them to do together. And that's going to depend on what level, you know, that loved one's at, but really being prepared, I think, is very important.
Yeah, and I think just keeping them aware of things that will happen and might happen with their grandparents or parents or whatever that looks like, I think is so important. So tell me about the process of making this book, putting it together, how long, what timeline looked like maybe?
Well, it's like a uphill thing when you don't know what you're doing. So it took me about 2 years, actually. But it was kind of therapy too, so it was a real healing process of going through those emotions. But I found my illustrator on Upworks, and she's in Canada, so she's like 19 or 20. She probably had a birthday by now, so she's probably 20. And they're beautiful illustrations of our family and just real pictures of our journey.
Now, Phil, did you have any part with the book? Or, I mean, I'm sure that you're walking beside her as you're going through this whole dementia situation, but what about the book? Is there any kind of interaction there?
You bet. She's included me, allowed me opportunities to, of course, read it. We always have, bounced things off each other when we've been working on projects. So
well, he wrote the intro to the book.
But this has truly been her project. So it's been fun to support her. And I'm just super proud of her because what I've seen is through her efforts to do this, she's honored her mom. She's honored all who have dementia, struggling with that. But she's also shown parents and children how to show the love of Jesus to people who are going through that. And so I'm proud of how our whole family has benefited from that, and others.
And that gives hope too, not just we have to deal with this, but there is hope for the future.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm curious too, Jill, so in putting this book together, in your own experience as well, kind of what advice or maybe other tips would you leave for people that are maybe starting this journey with a family member of their own?
I would definitely say, because I think you can feel like you're alone. And I would definitely encourage people to seek out supports. And, like with the Alzheimer's Society, there's definitely groups you can join, and there's even online groups. There's tons of podcasts. I just listen to podcasts all the time and learn and gather information. So, definitely don't feel like you're on the journey alone because you're not. There's a lot of people here.
How can people find your book and buy it?
Well, I'm on Amazon and like Barnes & Noble online, and in fact, I'm going to be at Barnes & Noble in Springfield here on the 3rd.
Very good. Okay.
At 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock on the 3rd.
Yeah.
Book signing?
Yes.
Perfect.
Book signings, people come and meet you, get to know more about the story, and get their own copy. We love it. Jill, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Thank
and congrats
you so
on
much.
this project.
Exciting.
Yes, very exciting stuff.
Coming up, another